Hello, and welcome to Retire with James. I'm Jim. Okay, today we have an interesting subject, dating. First and foremost, am I qualified to talk to you about dating? The answer is no. And let me help you understand what I mean. I am not here to help you find a date. I am not going to tell you whether online dating is good or bad. I think it's good. I think it's a new way of doing things. But I'm not here to help you with what to say on a date, how to find a date, and what kind of conversation, where to go, that kind of thing. I'll let you figure all of that out on your own. My last video, Reconnect with Friends, helped me to understand that maybe I should hit on the dating subject because there are so many people, unfortunately, without a companion, partner, wife, husband, spouse, and they would like to find someone. I only have two things to share with you concerning dating. The first item I want to talk to you about is just taking the time to get to know someone. It is so important to take the time in any relationship, no matter how old you are, whether you're 18, 21, 31, 50, 65. It is extremely important to take your time to get to know someone. Sometimes people say, well, I'm 65 years old. How much time do I have to get to know someone? Then I spend 2 years with them and it's not right. Then what do? I have to start over? Yes, that's exactly how it works. What you want to do is if you spent 2 years with someone and you enjoyed those 2 years, then what exactly did you miss? If you really had a good time for 2 years and enjoyed their company, but for whatever reason, it didn't work out. They wanted to go one direction, you wanted to go another, so you both decided to go different directions. Or family situations came up and it divided the two of you and you moved on. You had a great time, so what's wrong? Now, if you spent 2 years in not such a great relationship and then it ended, well, sorry, that's kind of your fault for spending way too long in a bad relationship. It's not the other person's fault if they liked it and you didn't. You need to understand who you're with, and if you're enjoying yourself, I say sometimes be like the millennials today. So many of them are living together, and I know the older we are, like my mother's age, they don't necessarily agree with that. I personally don't have a problem with it. They're enjoying their lives. What is wrong with that? They're doing things together. They're going places. They're sharing their expenses. They live together and create a home together. Being that they're not married doesn't necessarily make it good or bad. It's just the way they're living their lives. Some millennials do get married. Some millennials do have children. Some do not. But they're making more of an impact in society because they are kind of changing the way things are done. What they like, what they is material or something they like to experience. The experience, that word, that affects, I think, millennials more so than anything, any other word that I can bring up. They just want to experience more. And some decided with children they can experience more. That might hold them back. So back to us at our 60s, we're not going to have any more kids. So be like the millennial. And if you find someone that you enjoy being with, then enjoy it. You, if not married, you can still get on a train, a plane, and go somewhere. Jump in a car and go camping. Go visit people. Go have fun. Travel the world. Share expenses. Have your expenses separate, but share when you want to. And discuss how that works with them. It's The expenses is actually my second item, but I'm not going to get to it just yet. But as a millennial thinker, they want to experience life. So I say to you, experience life. If you find someone you enjoy being with, then keep enjoying it. There is no next step that's absolutely necessary. Just enjoy it. You want to move in together, then make the expenses work out. That if it doesn't work out 3-5 years down the road, then you can separate those expenses and go on your way. Just make sure that you protect it. Now, that brings up my second item, expenses or money, your money. Money is something you need to protect because you've spent the last 45 plus years saving for your retirement. I looked up on the internet. There's about 50 million seniors out there in the United States. If just 5% of them were not so good people and they wanted to take your money, that's 2.5 million people after you. So you have to protect your finances. And it's not just the bad people that want to meet you, date for a while, say, hey, let's settle down, let's get married. Then all of a sudden, half of your money is theirs. They say it's not working out legally. They go to a judge and say, hey, it's not working out, but I want 50% of that money, and they're gone. You need to protect your money, whether it's a very good person you have a relationship with. You can still protect your money. Here's some of the things to think about when I mentioned protecting your money. Let's just say two really good people find each other, get together, go 2-3 years, whatever, and decide to get married. Now, you combine your finances, or you just get married and you naturally combine those finances. And your hopes is that when you someday go to the next, pass away and go to the next step in life, you want to have some of that money go to your children. Well, if you pass early and you've gotten married and that money is with your new partner, then that money is theirs after you pass. And you have to think about that. It's not a bad thing if that's your choice, that they get all that money and they can decide what to do with it. But the point of bringing this up is this. If you really want your children that you spent your early 20s and 30s raising and helping out, and you want to help them out when the day you pass, then you need to set that up in some type of a trust, so that when you marry your new spouse, if God forbid something happens to you, that it's not up to that new spouse who really doesn't have that connection with them to make those decisions to give them a certain amount of money. Let's delve into that a little bit further and what I mean by that, so you really understand what I'm saying. They're good people, but let's say you get married at 65, and at 68, God forbid, something happens and you pass. That money then goes to them 100%. They have all the money. But they live into their 90s, and they started a new life with someone else. They have children of their own that they brought into the marriage. Plus, if they went and met someone else, then they have children. It's not unusual for someone, once they receive it, to want to keep it. It's not that they're bad people, but that's just the way things work out most often. So in 20, 30 years, when you would have been in your 90s, this new person that you married at 65, whatever, isn't necessarily going to pass that money on to your family. So that is the reason for trust. And again, as I've said in previous videos, I am not a financial planner. I'm not an attorney. So you find one and you see how it works in protecting your money. You can have agreements with the person that you meet. Hey, look, I love you. I want to spend time with you. And as we both do well in our life and live a happy life, I will share money with you. You share money with me. We'll go do things. I'll pay, you pay. We'll be married, but we'll share. I will have my money set up in a trust where that trust is in my name. And if anything happens to me, then it goes to my children. And I can even set aside so much of it goes to you, and vice versa. And hopefully that other person will agree with it. And that is a great way of protecting what you have spent 45 plus years saving. And I know my wife and I, we've actually talked about that. Now, we've been married 32 plus years. God forbid anything would happen to either one of us. I would never want to date again, but you don't know what it's going to be like 5 years or plus after something would happen to one or the other of us. You might meet someone and things change. And if they did change, I would want to make sure that our kids get the money that we saved all of our lives. Because if something was to happen to her 2-3 years into that new marriage, our kids may not see any of it. So think about some of that and talk to an attorney and see what can be done to protect your money. Now I want to talk to you about kind of the first part where I said meeting people and spending some time to get to know them and protecting your finances, combining the two. What I might want to do is give you a heads up. If you meet someone and very soon, and I think for me soon is a few months after meeting them and dating, that they start talking a lot about your finances, I might say watch out on that one. Unless they're a financial planner and it's an obvious thing that they bring up in conversation because it's so natural to them. But in my book, I don't think it's so natural that when you first meet someone, they're already talking about your finances to understand where you are in life. Now, if they're much better off than you financially, still protect yourself. Understand who it is you're talking to and what you're about to share. Sharing things like account numbers and passwords. Maybe have a safe in the home that you only know the password to, so that your password book is in that safe. You just don't know. And the worst thing is to be 65 or 70 and to have someone take half or more of what you own. And I know a couple individuals that happened to, just because they met the wrong person. I think it's such a small percentage of people that are bad like that, but I know 2 people who met 2 bad ones. So I'm just here to help you think about what you might do to protect yourself. So be smart, be happy, be well. I want to ask you to log into YouTube. You have to log into YouTube to be able to subscribe. Subscribing helps me out, and hitting that like button and making a comment as well. That helps me to continue to do these videos. I appreciate your time. Thanks. Have a great one.